Some nights sleep just doesn't come, you're tired, you've done everything right. The lights are low, the house is quiet, maybe you even tried warm milk or a gentle podcast, but your eyes are still open. The clock moves past midnight, your body begs for rest, but your mind is wide awake. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. For many older adults, falling asleep and staying asleep becomes harder with age. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because the nervous system gets more reactive, more sensitive. Stress sticks longer, thoughts echo louder, and yet the answer isn't always more pills, more sleep aids, or more rules. What if you already had the tool you needed right at your fingertips? Literally. Tonight, I want to show you a calming technique from traditional Japanese medicine. It's called Shiatsu, and it's a simple form of self-applied pressure that's been used for centuries to quiet the nervous system and support deep, natural sleep. No equipment, no side effects, just your own hands and a few minutes of focused touch. This isn't a miracle trick, but it might be the most natural way to gently guide your body toward the rest it's already craving. If you're ready to turn off the noise inside and out, let's begin. Your hands know the way back to sleep. Part 1. What is Shiatsu? Why the Japanese call it healing through hands. Most people don't think of their hands as a way to fall asleep. We use them all day for cooking, holding, typing, reaching. But at night, when everything slows down, the body remembers what it's been holding. Not just physically, but emotionally too. And often, what's kept in the body is what keeps us awake. That's where Shiatsu begins. Shiatsu is a traditional Japanese practice that literally means finger pressure. It's not massage, it's not forceful, it's not even about fixing something. It's about gently pressing certain points on your body, often your hands, in a specific way to calm your nervous system. Think of it like flipping a quiet switch, one that helps you shift from the tension of the day to the stillness of sleep. The Japanese have long called Shiatsu healing through hands because that's what it feels like, and now modern science is catching up. When you stimulate the right points, your body activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for slowing your heart rate, deepening your breath, and letting the mind rest. No pills, no side effects, just your own touch used with purpose. This practice is especially helpful for those of us who carry stress in silence, the kind that doesn't scream but lingers through a clenched jaw, a tight chest, a racing mind at 1 a.m. Shiatsu doesn't demand big effort. It invites you back to your body, back to your breath, back to a place where sleep feels safe again. The beauty of Shiatsu is that anyone can do it. It doesn't require strength, flexibility, or fancy tools, just intention, just presence. For older adults especially, this method offers more than rest. It offers autonomy, a way to care for yourself by yourself in a moment when the world feels overwhelming or distant. You won't feel a lightning bolt. You might not even notice the shift at first. But over time, like a familiar song playing softly in the background, the body begins to respond. The breath evens out, the chest softens, and slowly, gently, sleep finds its way back, not because you chased it, but because you made space for it. So when the night feels too loud and your thoughts too sharp, you can begin here with your own two hands, not to escape your body, but to return to it. That's what Shiatsu offers, a way to rest not just physically, but deeply, like being exhaled by the day. And that kind of rest, it changes everything. Part 2. Press the palm center, let the worry melt. There's a place in your hand that most people never think about, right in the center of your palm, beneath your thumb. It's soft, warm, often overlooked. But in Shiatsu, this small area is considered the emotional gateway of the body. And if you've been carrying tension, worry, or restlessness through the day, or the years, this is where you begin to let it go. The center of the palm is not just skin and muscle. It's one of the most responsive places in the body when it comes to calming the nervous system. In both traditional and modern approaches, this area connects to circulation, the heart, and even emotional regulation. Think of it like a quiet switchboard waiting for the signal that it's okay to power down. You don't need any tools, just your opposite hand. Rest one hand, palm up. Use the thumb of your other hand to press gently into the center of the palm, not too hard, just enough to feel that you're making contact. Hold for about 5 seconds, then release. Now press again, slowly moving in small, gentle circles. Breathe deeply as you do and listen, not with your ears but with your attention. Your body is telling you something. This is where the day ends. This is where rest begins. What's powerful about this point isn't just the physical relief, it's what it symbolizes. Throughout life, your hands have done so much for others, for work, for survival. Pressing into the center of your own palm is like offering yourself something back. It's a moment of return, of care, of saying you've held enough. Now you get to release. Repeat the press and hold 3 times. Move slowly, no rush. Let your breath match the rhythm of your touch. With each round, feel your shoulders begin to lower. Notice if your chest softens, if your thoughts feel a little quieter. This is your nervous system shifting, not because you demanded it, but because you created space for it to happen naturally. If it helps, add a phrase as you press, something simple and honest. I'm done for today, or I'm safe now. These words aren't magic, but they create emotional permission. And sometimes that's all we really need, to be told it's okay to stop trying, to stop thinking, to just rest. The beauty of this small motion is that it doesn't ask much from you. It meets you where you are, in bed, in a chair, even during a restless moment in the dark. But what it offers in return is a deep shift, from doing to being, from holding on to letting go, from alertness to surrender. This one simple gesture done with presence and breath becomes more than a technique. It becomes a reminder that even on the most restless nights, peace is never far. Sometimes it's right in the palm of your hand. Part 3, the thumb, small but powerful. Your thumb may be the smallest part of this practice, but its impact is anything but small. In Shiatsu, the thumb is seen as a center of energy, closely tied to your breathing, your heart rate, and the balance of your nervous system. It's also the finger we instinctively use when we're anxious. Think about it. How often do you press your thumb against your palm without realizing it? Rub it between your fingers. That's not random. That's your body reaching for regulation. The thumb carries emotional weight. It's connected through nerve pathways and reflex zones to the lungs and heart. That's why when we gently stimulate it, we often feel a soft shift in our chest or breath. And for those nights when sleep won't come because your mind is too busy or your breath is too shallow, this is where you begin to bring things back into rhythm. Here's how. Start by holding your thumb gently between the thumb and index finger of your opposite hand. Don't squeeze, just create contact. Now press the middle section of the thumb, the part between the joints, and hold for 5 seconds. This area is known to calm racing thoughts. Next, move to the tip of the thumb right behind the nail. Press it lightly from both front and back. This spot is connected to the forehead in reflexology, and it often helps ease mental tension and overthinking. Finally, press both sides of the thumb one at a time. These side points are linked to lung function and steady breathing. As you move through each part, take slow, even breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose, exhale through your mouth. You're not just pressing a finger, you're cueing your nervous system to shift gears, from stress to calm, from alert to grounded. You can repeat this whole sequence 2 or 3 times, especially if your mind feels busy or your chest feels tight. And again, this isn't about perfection, it's about presence. Your thumb becomes a small but powerful reminder. I am in my body, I am allowed to rest. There's something comforting about how simple this is. No noise, no tools, just your own hands and your own intention. And it works because it speaks directly to the parts of you that want to be heard but don't know how to ask. Anxiety doesn't always shout. Sometimes it hides behind a breath you didn't take, a thought you didn't finish, a feeling you didn't name. This touch is a way to meet it without fear. So when you can't sleep and everything feels too fast or too much, come back to this. Hold your thumb, press gently, breathe with it. Because in that small act, you remind your body what it forgot, how to feel safe, how to feel steady, and most of all, how to let go. Part 4, unwind hidden tension with a simple press. Some tension doesn't show up as pain. It hides, quietly, in the way your jaw clenches without you noticing, in how your shoulders stay slightly raised even when you're trying to relax, and most surprisingly, in the back of your hands. It may sound strange, but this overlooked area is a powerful place where stress collects, and gently pressing here in the right way can help your entire body begin to exhale. In Shiatsu, the back of the hand is more than skin and bone. It's a map of tiny nerve endings and reflex points tied to your internal organs, especially the liver, kidneys, and nervous system. These are the systems that work overtime when you're stressed, anxious, or mentally exhausted. When these reflex zones are touched with care, they send calming signals through the body, like a ripple in still water. To begin, rest one hand on your lap, palm down. Mentally divide the back of the hand into 4 columns between the spaces of your fingers. Each space, from the base of your knuckles to the top, is a row of energy points. Start with the space between your thumb and index finger. Using the tip of your other thumb, press gently but steadily up that line, about 3 points per row. Hold each point for 3-4 seconds, then move to the next. When you finish one row, move to the space between your index and middle fingers. Continue across all four. You might feel a subtle warmth, maybe even a soft pulse. That's your body responding, not dramatically but deeply. What you're doing is reminding the sympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for alertness and tension, that it can take a step back. And you're inviting the parasympathetic system, the one responsible for healing, recovery, and sleep, to take its place. You don't need to press hard. In fact, the most effective pressure is gentle, steady, and respectful. The goal isn't to fix anything, it's to soften what's been held too tightly for too long. You can also close your eyes as you do this. Picture the tension draining from your hands like water. Let the breath follow your touch. Inhale slowly, exhale like a sigh. As you move across the hand, you may start to feel your entire arm grow heavier, more relaxed, like it's finally allowed to rest. For many older adults, this part of the practice becomes a favorite because it's so unexpected. We don't often think of the back of the hand as a place of healing, but that's what makes it powerful. It's a place the body rarely receives attention, and when it finally does, it listens. By the time you finish both hands, you may notice something subtle. Your thoughts have slowed, your breathing feels deeper, and even if the room around you hasn't changed, something inside you has. This is the quiet work of self-care, invisible perhaps, but powerful. And tonight it starts right here, with one simple press and the permission to let go. Part 5. Each finger unlocks a different part of you. We often think of fingers as tools for gripping, typing, buttoning a shirt. But in Shiatsu, each finger holds something deeper, a connection not just to physical organs but to emotional patterns that run quietly through the body. When gently activated, these small points become like doors, each one opening to a different part of your well-being. And when you move through them slowly, mindfully, it's like walking yourself home. Let's begin with the index finger. In Eastern medicine, this finger is linked to the digestive system and the way we process things, not just food, but emotion, worry, overthinking. To release this tension, hold your index finger between the thumb and index finger of your opposite hand. Press gently on the front, right over the fingerprint. Hold for 4 seconds, then shift to the back of the finger just behind the nail. Finally, lightly pinch both sides at once. Breathe deeply as you do this and allow your thoughts to settle. Next is the middle finger. It corresponds to the heart and circulatory system, and it often holds frustration, impatience, or emotional overload. Apply the same 3-part touch, front, back, and both sides. With each press, exhale slowly and picture warmth flowing through your chest. Now move to the ring finger. This finger is connected to the liver and kidneys, the organs that manage toxins and regulate internal balance. But it also relates to control and resistance, especially the kind we carry when we try too hard to stay strong. Be gentle here, let your touch be steady but kind, and remind yourself it's okay to stop carrying so much. Finally, the pinky finger. This one represents emotional balance and sleep. It holds the quiet grief, the unspoken memories, the fears that surface in silence. It's the finger of vulnerability. As you press and hold, try adding a soft phrase in your mind. I am safe, I am supported. Let the message sink in, not just intellectually but physically. As you move through each finger, you may notice some areas feel more sensitive than others. That's normal, don't rush. Give each finger the same care, the same attention. This practice isn't about fixing, it's about listening. By the time you finish all 4 fingers on one hand, pause, let yourself notice the shift. The hand may feel warmer, heavier, even calmer. Then repeat the sequence on the other hand. This is not just a nightly routine, it's a gentle conversation with your body. A way to acknowledge what's been stored and slowly, compassionately let it go. Each finger is small, but what they hold and what they release can be life-changing. So when the day feels too full and the night feels too long, come back to your hands. They know the way, and they'll remind the rest of you, one quiet press at a time. Part 6. Breathe like you're being held. The final part of this practice isn't about pressure, it's about breath. Because no matter how skilled your hands become, they can only go so far without the rhythm that holds it all together. Your breath is the bridge between body and mind. It's the signal that tells your heart, your brain, and your muscles, you're home now, you can rest. But for many of us, especially in moments of stress or loneliness, breath becomes shallow without us noticing. We start living in the top half of our lungs, short inhales, quick exhales, never fully arriving in the body. That's why this final step is so important. It's not just about calming down, it's about reconnecting to a sense of safety, one breath at a time. Here's how to begin. Sit or lie down in a quiet space. Place one hand gently over your heart and the other over your lower belly. Now try a 4-6 breathing rhythm. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for just a beat, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Let each breath be smooth, quiet, and full. This longer exhale tells the parasympathetic nervous system it's okay now. The danger has passed. You're not rushing, you're not bracing, you're just here. As you breathe, bring to mind a calming image. Maybe it's soft sunlight coming through the window. Maybe it's waves lapping the shore. Maybe it's the quiet warmth of someone's arms wrapped around you. Let that feeling move through you like breath itself. You can also repeat simple phrases in your mind, words that offer gentle permission. Try, I am safe, I am letting go, sleep is on its way. These aren't affirmations for performance, they are messages for your nervous system, whispers of comfort where no loud motivation is needed. And if your thoughts wander, that's okay. Don't force stillness. Just return to your breath again and again as if returning to someone you trust, because that's what this breath becomes, a familiar presence, a quiet guide. The beauty of this step is that it's always available. Whether you're lying in bed, sitting at the edge of the sofa, or waking up in the middle of the night, this breath is yours. No equipment, no pressure. Just breathe, body and attention coming together in the softest form of healing. So if nothing else tonight, let this be the last thing you do, not to chase sleep, but to welcome it. And to remind yourself, you don't have to hold everything all the time. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to exhale. And even in the silence, you're not alone. What you've just done tonight is more than a series of simple movements. It's an act of returning to your body, to your breath, and perhaps most importantly, to your sense of self. These aren't just pressure points or breathing techniques. They are quiet invitations. Each touch, each breath, each pause has gently told your nervous system, you're safe now, you can rest. In a world that often pushes us to do more, fix more, and perform more, this practice asks something different. It asks for presence. And presence, especially as we age, is not a luxury. It's essential, because the truth is, sleep doesn't come just because the day ends. It comes when the body feels allowed to let go, when the mind no longer feels the need to stay on guard, when we stop holding everything in and begin, finally, to soften. Through the fingertips, you've calmed the signals racing through your nerves. You've quieted the static that builds up in silence. And maybe for the first time in a long while, your body knows what stillness feels like again. Not the kind of stillness that comes from exhaustion, but the kind that feels like coming home. And I want to thank you, not just for watching, but for showing up for yourself. I know that for many of you, sleep hasn't come easy, not for months. Maybe not for years, but here you are choosing a new path, a gentler one, a slower one that doesn't depend on pills or perfect routines, just your hands, your breath, and a few quiet minutes each evening. If this video brought you comfort or simply reminded you that rest is possible, I hope you carry that feeling with you. Not just tonight, but every night that follows. Let this be your space, your ritual, your moment to reclaim calm, not with force, but with care. And if tonight sleep comes a little easier, or your heart feels a little lighter, then that is enough, that is everything. So wherever you are right now, whether lying in bed, sitting quietly, or just breathing with me, know this, you are not alone in this. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are simply human learning how to rest again. Thank you for being here, thank you for taking this time, and above all, may you sleep deeply tonight, with peace in your body, softness in your breath, and ease in your heart. Good night.